So at the beginning of every month, new jobs numbers come in. And if Fox News thinks that the jobs numbers are going to be bad for Democrats and good for Republicans, they will put together a panel of like their starting 5 or so, because they want to be able to sit there on live TV and react to the jobs numbers coming in. Now, I can tell you this. I don't know why they keep doing it, because I watched them month after month after month during the Biden administration be mad and surprised that the Biden administration was creating so many jobs. I've literally sat there and watched them look like they were at a funeral because the jobs numbers were so good. And then there were times where they weren't prepared to say something bad, so they just blurted out the good stuff because they were so surprised by the numbers. And they'd be sitting there like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. The Biden administration just created 150,000 jobs. That's like 40,000 jobs than we thought we were going to get. That's crazy. And then what they would do is they would talk through the process so much until they finally got to talking about how the numbers weren't actually that good. That's what they would do month after month during the Biden administration. Well, today, because they haven't learned from their mistakes, they decided to sit there and have a panel again while the numbers came in live, because they thought the numbers were going to be great for Republicans and Donald Trump. And you might be asking, why after a couple of months of bad numbers would they think the numbers were going to be good? Because Donald Trump repeats the same lie to them over and over again. The same lies he repeats to us. Inflation's gone. We've done away with inflation. We're going to have good unemployment numbers. We've created so many jobs. We're bringing in billions of dollars. People listen to Donald Trump say that. Then they go to the store and they buy groceries and they see inflation hasn't gone down. They go to the gas pump and they buy gas and they see the gas prices have barely gone down or stayed stagnant. But Donald Trump has learned to repeat these lies so many times that you have these idiots on Fox News who've fallen for it. So they're sitting there, right? And they're having their discussion. They're waiting for the numbers to come in because they think they're going to be great. Then Maria Bartiromo gets the numbers. And just like they look like they're at a funeral, when Joe Biden's numbers came in good, that's exactly how they look when Donald Trump's numbers come in bad.
The NASDAQ down about 200 going. 73,000 jobs. 73,000 jobs created in the month of July. Number just coming out.
And that's total.
4.2% is the unemployment rate, right in line with expectations. Here are the numbers. For the month of July, jobs came in at 73,000. That was lower than the expectation, which called for 110,000 jobs. The unemployment rate right in step with expectations at 4.2%. Steve Moore, your reaction.
Look, I think this is all a result, this disappointing number is a result of all the turmoil over tariffs and the trade wars.
They were like, damn, that's total? They were just, and here's the worst part about it. They weren't mad that jobs weren't created. They don't give a damn about you. They have jobs. They're mad that they can't sit up there and praise Donald Trump. That's what they're mad about. They're mad that they're like, has he been lying to us? Are we that dumb? Because they genuinely thought those numbers were going to be good. And that's crazy to me. Fox News pays these people. These people are supposed to be like economists. They're supposed to be able to predict these things. And little old me over here knew this. It's obvious we're not creating jobs. We know. The guy says, oh, it's because of all the tariff turmoil. You damn right it is. Jobs aren't being created because everybody has to pay more for shit. But you guys were sitting there thinking jobs were going to be created. Now, the bootlicking black dude on the panel, who I don't even remember his name. It might be, I don't even know. I don't know what his name is. But he got up there and he tried to blame Jerome Powell. He found a way to get it to, you know what? It's the Fed. It's because the Fed won't lower the interest rates. That's why. He had no reason for it. He had no good explanation for it. But he found a reason to blame anyone else but Donald Trump. But then they go back to the same guy they had up there who was saying that it was the tariffs. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to disagree with him. It's the tariff stuff. But then he puts a good spin on it by saying, but that's all behind us now. That's behind us. We've solved the tariff problem. Just like we solved inflation, all that. We've solved it. That's behind us, and it's going to get better now. Like, that's how they're trying to shape this.
They'll blame it on tariffs, they'll blame it on everything else,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you right now, it doesn't have to happen.
Well, I mean, Steve, no wonder the market was down 300 points going into this number. Look at these revisions.
Yeah. So I guess I have a little bit of a different take on this. First of all, I'm very bullish on the U.S. economy. I mean, the thing that's happened in the last 6 weeks that has really been an inflection point on the economy, and we'll look back at this and say, this was amazing, was we passed the tax bill. Remember, that was just a month ago, and Trump has won significant trade deals with the Europeans, with the Brits,
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
many of the Asian countries. Now, those are really bullish things. Now, I disagree with Charles. I think the main reason we saw weakness in those numbers in March, April, and May was because of the trade turmoil. I talked to small businesses all over the country. A lot of their factories came to a standstill. They didn't know if they could get their parts in. They didn't know what was going on. You know, with threats of 50% tariffs and so on, there was a lot of turmoil. My point is that a lot of that turmoil is now behind us, and I think businesses are going to be much more optimistic now that we got these trade deals in hand, which, by the way, Maria, lower the tariffs that other countries are imposing on our agriculture industry, our dairy, our technology companies. All these things are so positive. So I think this is kind of rear view.
And he had to sit there and be honest by mistake again. He said this is why the numbers are bad March, April, and May, also because of all the tariff stuff. But that's behind us now. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because if we can look at Donald Trump's first presidency, there wasn't any job creation and the unemployment rate went up. She's sitting there saying that the unemployment rate stayed where it's supposed to be. It was 3.9% when Joe Biden left office. 3.9%. It's gone up to 4.2%. And now we're not creating jobs at the same rate we were just 6-7 months ago. This is because Donald Trump's policies are a failure. He brought up the tax bill being passed. All we did was extend the same tax code that we're under right now. So that hasn't changed either. All of these tariffs, all of these things that Donald Trump does because he thinks he's smarter than everyone else. And the reason why he thinks that is because he is surrounded now by yes men. I'm telling you, one of the biggest issues that we're going to look back and see with this entire presidency is that Donald Trump has no one that is going to stand up to him. Absolutely no one. So when he sits there and he says, I'm smarter than all of the economists, there were 70 economists who said one thing and I said another, and guess who was right? I was. He has no one around him that are going to say, actually, you weren't right. You're dumb as fuck. And, you know, like, no one is going to say that. He has chosen people who will not push back on anything he says or does. And that is why we're going to continue to see horrible numbers. That is why things are going to get worse unless the Democrats somehow take the House and the Senate. Then they'll at least be able to say, nah, bro, that will not be voted in because that's dumb as hell. But until then, I am guaranteeing you, you will see the unemployment rate continue to climb. You will see jobs numbers continue to stay horrible. Fox News may get to a point where they not only not have panels anymore, they just don't even talk about the jobs numbers. They're going to find something else to talk about because this is going to continue to be so bad. Because Donald Trump is horrible at being president. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in they heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.